What's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a really big video for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today, a strict curl story, and a very big one at that. The strict curl world record has officially been broken in competition by Neezy_333. That's his username on Instagram that a lot of you guys might know him by, his real name being Nazami Tagiev. So this weekend, he strict curled a very impressive 114 kilos, which is 251 pounds for the strict curl. 251.3 to be exact. Now this beats the previous record that was set in 2016 by Denis Saplinkov, the well-known arm wrestler, well-known strongman powerlifter, who back then strict curled 113 kilos or 249 pounds to set the record at the time. Now, it's also worth mentioning here that this record was broken in 2021, the 113 kilos. It was broken by a man by the name of Leroy Walker, LW the Machine on Instagram. Now, I know that Leroy's lift was very controversial, and a lot of people don't consider it to be a legitimate record, whereas a lot of people are considering Neezy's record to be the official record. Now, the main reason why I've seen CT Fletcher talk about this, who was a record holder for a while of the strict curl, and Denis Saplinkov also didn't recognize Leroy Walker's record. The main reason was that it was not following the traditional strict curl rules. Most importantly, the one that I've seen most people point out is the head against the mat or the wall behind you. Your head, your shoulders, and your butt have to be making contact with the wall or the mat the entire time on the platform. Leroy Walker, not only the actual backdrop itself, the back of the platform, it wasn't the same as what we saw Dennis use or what we saw Neezy333 use. It didn't appear to be the same regulation strict curl platform. So this record set today, this weekend by Neezy333, this is what most powerlifters and most strict curlers consider to be the official record-breaking strict curl done by traditional strict curl rules. So I wanted to start off the video with that. You guys know I'm a huge strict curl fan. I've been a strict curl competitor for several years, and I love to see stories like this pop up. It seems like it's been fewer and more far between, but very, very cool stuff. Congratulations to Neezy333 on finally breaking that record. Now, next up in the news, Phil the Gift Heath in Texas. He was training with Patrick Moore. That was the first video that came out of the recent training sessions with Phil Heath, showing off a really impressive, really round, really full physique, looking back to normal, I guess you could say. I know that recently Phil put out a video where he said he weighed around 260 pounds. You guys know that, towards the end of 2021, Phil Heath was hospitalized with the virus and lost a bunch of weight. It looked like he was downsizing. It looked like he might not compete again. But lately, he looks really big. He looks really round. He looks like he's filling out. In these updates that we've seen, he looks like he could be getting ready for a show. And I want to throw a little bit of a what-if scenario at you guys here. What if Phil is not officially retired? What if he does compete again? And what if that show ended up being the Arnold Classic? Phil looks like he's put size back on. I don't see the point in doing that if he wasn't planning on stepping on stage again. Do I think he'll step on the Olympia stage again? I actually don't. And of course, this is all just speculation, but honestly, I don't know if Phil would win another Olympia title if he competed again. It seems like he's still working on this documentary that he's been working on with Danny Garcia's production company. It seems like it would make sense that if he competed again, he would do Athleticon, but there's been no official announcement, really no additional information at all as to when this thing is going to happen, if it's going to happen, how likely it would be for Phil to do it if it happens. But if Phil were to compete again, this is just the way that I look at it. If he's still working on this documentary, I think the best way to cap it off is with a win. And then if he does retire on a high note, winning a show. I think he's got a much better shot at winning a show like the Arnold Classic. And the Arnold Classic was interested in having him come do commentary for the show. I'm sure they would be even more highly interested in having him compete at that show. I mean, think about it. It's a title that Phil never won. One of the best physiques Phil ever had was the 2010 Arnold Classic, where he lost to Kai Green. He's tied with Arnold Schwarzenegger for number of Olympia titles. Phil currently has 7. It would be a nice swan song for Phil if he did that show and potentially won that show, which I think he has the potential to. Because look, if these physique updates tell us anything, It's that even in his 40s, Phil has still got it. Now, next up in the news, this will be an interesting collaboration if it happens. Collaboration potentially between The Rock and Hafthor Bjornsson. So this started out with Hafthor tweeting, super jet lagged, woke up at 4 a.m. Doesn't The Rock train at 4 a.m. every day? Should I train? Hashtag absolutely not. Tagging The Rock in that tweet. The Rock replies and quote tweets, technically I wake up at 4 a.m. every day and I'm training by 5. One day we'll have to bang on some iron together. Interesting choice of words. Would you like to see The Rock and Hafthor bang on some iron? The world's strongest man, boxer, actor, etc., and the big brown bald tattooed guy who's only famous for wearing a fanny pack. Keep kicking ass, brother. So it looks like potentially there's room for a collab between The Rock and Hafthor. And honestly, the first thing that my mind went to, and this could just be biased because WrestleMania was this weekend, and I've been watching WrestleMania for the past 2 days. What if Hafthor had some kind of cameo or appearance in the WWE ring? Logan Paul did it this weekend at WrestleMania. Why not Hafthor? Hafthor not only has the stage presence, I guess you could say. I mean, the guy's gigantic, 6'9", crazy physique. He's proven that he's gotten a pretty significant amount of athleticism. I'm sure he could move around the ring, even being this big, attraction. I was just thinking about these worlds colliding. If he did have some kind of meeting with The Rock and they talked maybe potentially business, if The Rock could help him get his foot in the door with the WWE, I don't see why not. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Is that a totally stupid idea, or would you like to see Hafthor in a WWE ring? I think he's got the persona, I think, that would do well in the WWE. And I'll tell you, it makes a hell of a lot more money than a boxing fight with a free pay-per-view. Now, next up in the news, men's physique 4-time Mr. Olympia, Jeremy Buendia. It looks like he's pointing to a potential comeback this year or next year. He put up a post on Instagram recently saying 25,000 comments and I'll compete again. The post received 25,018 comments almost immediately, 128,000 plus likes. So he reposted that on his page after it received the amount of likes or the comments that he wanted it to get. And he says 2022 or 2023 hashtag fight for 5, referring to the 5th title that has thus eluded him in his career. Now, in the time that Jeremy has been away from the competitive stage, he's had a lot of controversies. He's had a lot of issues in his personal life away from the stage. I think it'd be interesting to see him come back and compete, and I would like to see him do well and move past some of those issues that he had. But I think there's some interesting food for thought in this scenario here. In the time that he's been away, has the criteria for the men's physique division changed enough that he would not be able to win another title? You kind of see how fast classic physique, the criteria in that division has changed so rapidly that I think somebody that won the classic physique category, say in 2016, would not be winning it in 2022 because the standard is so different. Does that same kind of logic apply to men's physique? And would Jeremy Buendia maybe not be able to win? And the final story that I have for you guys today, let's talk about the considerable improvements made by Hunter Labrada to arguably one of his weakest points, and that's his back. Hunter posting up this side-by-side of a little bit less than a year in between the photos. July 25th, 2021 versus March 23rd, 2022, showing off some of the added density that he's added on, particularly to his lat spread, but also a pretty significant amount of weight difference between these two pictures. Granted, he was about to compete in a show in the before picture, so he's obviously a lot leaner there and obviously a lot lighter. 252 versus 282, so 30 pounds difference. And I think another point of this update was to show off that he's still relatively lean at 282 pounds when comparing contest prep Hunter and off-season Hunter. Not a lot of people talking about Hunter Labrada as much as some of these other guys, despite the fact that Hunter was top 4 at the Olympia. There's a chance that he improves upon that placing this year. For every improvement that he makes to his physique is a shot that he moves up from 4th, which would land him potentially top 3 or top 2, assuming everybody else comes in about the same as they were last year, which that's a big assumption. And Hunter also has to worry about fending off the young, the hungry, the mutant, Nick Walker. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about the improvements made by Hunter Labrada. Will it be enough to land him a top 3 spot at the Olympia? Let me know. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up. It helps out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet already. And when you subscribe, hit that bell notification icon. That helps out a lot too. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out.